Okay. I want to make a statement first. Yeah, I'm reading from this because I get too nervous. I want to make sure that I cover everything, and I want to make sure that I follow the advice given by our city attorney last month. Gary Carl, as mayor, called for an executive session. He asked that the city attorney review all complaints made by Don Kenyon on June 6th, at the June 6th meeting. He was also asked that the city attorney review and make determinations on Michael Hansen's consulting. At the end of that meeting, Gary Carl.
Point of order. Is it appropriate for you to be discussing what went on in an executive session?
Yeah.
Just,
You
You can't do
can't
that.
do that. It's executive session.
Executive session.
And you're naming citizens that cannot be named,
You can't.
okay, on the
cannot
internet,
name personnel.
you guys are saying that we never got back to you about Don Kenyon's questions. Yeah, we did.
So, the mayor is the one who decides the point of order, so.
That's why I was looking like.
Can we continue with the agenda?
So, Mayor?
Yes.
May I? So,
Yes.
I think so that we stay within proper guidelines, I believe that, the, points that the, city attorney made as far as what his review was, so when he reviewed the allegations, the bullet points, I think are sufficient to present, of the outcome of his review. So those bullet points that I just showed you would be proper, that, to respond to, Ms. Kenyon.
I disagree. I don't think there were bullet points. We had an executive session. The first thing the lawyer said was nothing from this meeting should be discussed outside of here. Do you remember that? You remember saying that? And here you are reporting on what he said. That's wrong. That's just plain wrong.
Defines the point of executive session.
Exactly.
You don't have bullet points or anything else. We had an executive session, period. Excuse me if I'm getting a little upset.
So, well, Councilor Carl, those bullet points were of advice from council that we could release the bullet points of his review. And his review was that a number of these items, or all, were unfounded. He said that we can release that. And those are bullet points that I had presented to you, the council. And those bullet points were okay to be released because Ms. Kenyon wants to know, was it investigated and what was the outcome?
I
And
believe
that,
ORS
and that's
statute
what-
says that council, all of council has to agree.
and that was, Mayor,
Yes, but,
you know, one of the issues we're gonna have is folks keep jumping in.
Yeah.
So, and we're gonna ask that you not. Okay, so the key point is that the city attorney did say that you could release those bullet points. That's it.
Point of procedure, was the, results given to Don Kenyon? Did we satisfy
No,
her
sir.
complaint? Did we respond with the response to her prior to making this a statement in a public meeting?
No, and normally, we would normally just send her a letter that would say either the concerns were sustained or not sustained. And so, I believe in that, and that's what, if we did it by letter, that's what you would get. I believe that part of this was to try and settle some of these concerns that she brought out in public, was to answer them back in public.
I disagree. I think that we should respond to a letter with her, and then
Okay.
she may come forward in a public venue and discuss that letter with us if
Well-
she so desires.
Well, the
Yes.
issue would be, is
Yes.
if it's on anyone but me, we're not coming back in front of the council with it, okay?
As she chooses in public comment, she may bring it up.
If it starts discussing this investigation on any personnel that are below me,
Agree, any confidential is, right of privilege, and it should not be discussed before.
so if you don't wanna read it now, I can send a letter.
I agree with what you said.
Speak up, please.
Thank
Speak up.
you. I agree with what, Councilor Goldman just said. I do wanna point out though that Louis, you sent those bullet points to us via email in the city email, which then makes it a public record.
Exactly.
She can only repeat what you put in the bullet points,
Agreed.
not make comment on them or as to why they're there.
Agreed. I agree with that.
Okay, I would be happy to read those bullet points if anyone would approve or not approve. I also want to formally say that I think it's not a good idea that when a citizen brings up complaints of the magnitude that were brought up, that there is not a communication back to them, at least advising them that there is something happening. That is on city administration, Louis, who I'm talking to.
I apologize.
Thank you, and I expect a better performance.
Yeah,
In regard,
Yes,
I must have missed a piece of it. All I heard is that.
that's because you were talking.
Well,
Would you like me to read that email?
well,
No.
Counselor Nichols,
Okay, I won't.
may I?
No,
Well, it's to your benefit, not mine.
okay, go ahead,
Excuse me?
okay.
go ahead.
The city attorney,
Name and address, please.
I didn't know it was public comment, yet. We haven't got there. Dan Barkley, 47501 Highway 58. The city attorney rendered an opinion about executive session. State of Oregon, under Oregon revised statutes that establishes the criteria of what is allowed in executive session, might trump that opinion. And unless it's changed, media is allowed in executive session, but they cannot report on executive session. You turn your recorders off in executive session. So why would you turn off recorders and deny media to report the information in executive session, which does serve the purpose for a very specific number of topics, and then discuss it in a public meeting? You're defining the whole point of having an executive session. Not that I've ever sat in one before, but that's just me.
That's right, I'm doing, you should take it.
It's my opinion that regardless of what our attorney said or advised, what goes on in an executive session should not be repeated publicly, either in bullet points or summarization or in any other form. And I don't care what he said. Attorneys can be wrong. Believe it or not.
Yep.
Happens all the time.
This has nothing to do with the attorney, but I will say that if there is slanderous, I'm not gonna put up with it. This is a business meeting. You guys don't seem to realize that this is a business meeting, and we are not getting our business done. I know that's what you guys want. I know that's what you guys think you're doing, that you're interrupting our meetings so that we can't do the regular business, but it's not gonna happen. Just a minute. Go ahead. Stand up and, stand up and state your name.
My name's Audie Spleedoff. I live at 47587 Teller Road, Oakridge. And I'd like to ask Gary, was that in the form of motion? Did you put that there, or was you gonna make a motion out of this?
No, I was
What?
raising a point of
Just
order
raise a point
to
of
stop the dissemination of information that came out of an executive session. I don't care whether it's bullet points or summarizations or a litany from the mayor. I just think it's wrong to be publicly discussing or reporting information that went on executive session. I wasn't gonna
So
make a motion
no
on it.
answers to Don can ever be made
Thank
then,
you.
because it was discussed in executive session.
Yeah, publicly.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, we digress here, Mayor, but if we would like to continue on this, that was why those allegations were asked to be investigated from a private and outside entity.
Yes.
Rather than the attorney to whom we reached out, who also already approved some of what we were asking to be investigated. So you kind of caught yourself in your own little chase your tail.
Well, Gary's the one that called the executive session, not me.
No, I'm just saying, council already directed us to have an outside investigation, and it somehow got convoluted. I don't know how that happened. It shouldn't have.
And our attorney's not outside?
No.
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
no, we paid him.
You write him a
We
paycheck.
paid him, so he's not.
He's our employee.
He's
I
our
know he's
employee.
our employee, but he's not gonna tell us anything that's,
He's still in our employ, and we're asking him to comment on things that he has already said were okay, therefore creating a difficult situation perhaps.
Susan?
In a matter of an independent contractor's contract, that was sent to Brenda Bartlett
Sorry.
by former Mayor Coey in January. Brenda Wilson of Elcott in January by our mayor and asked her to comment on it. And she too agreed. MVHC, Michael V. Hansen Contracting, was an independent consultant.
I think we're talking about our response to Dawn here.
Well,
not
this
your
one was not done by the
individual
attorney, and I'm
We're talking
speaking,
about
thank
our-
you, I am speaking, thank you, I have
Did
the
you
floor,
identify
I was
yourself?
recognized
This
by
is
the.
staff comment section.
Stop!
Not the staff comment section.
It was recognized, it was sent to Brenda Wilson of Elcott in January. She responded that she found that he was an independent consultant. This was done without the council's knowledge and without the staff's knowledge, although it is the staff's knowledge now. So that is pretty much an independent person, as she does not work for the city at all and is not connected particularly with the city, although it is to Elcott. So that one can be taken to be finalized as an independent decision.
What does it include her?
I think it's Mike Kissinger.
Mike Kissinger, 47732 West Second Street, Oakridge. I'd like to know if there can be something done about pot smoking that runs me and my wife out of my backyard, because we can't stand the smell of it from our neighbors next door. We can't even sit on our back porch or open the back door because the odor comes in our house.
So, Chief,
I can talk to him offline.
okay, offline, okay. Is that Stephen Ball?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
My name is Stephen Ball. I live at 76482 Cedar Street. I'm a candidate for city council and a retired police officer in good standing with the city of Oakridge. I wanted to thank Luis Gomez for making himself available a couple days ago for a conversation regarding city complaints. We were able to work out a way that the city could make written complaints via citizens, or excuse me, employees with the city that will go to Louis for investigation. He outlined the policy and put it in place, and I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the council, I thank you for letting me talk today. I also want to address the fact that many of my colleagues here, my friends, have come to me and talked to me about some pretty disturbing, in my opinion, facts that I've seen that relate to the fire department. And I believe the easiest way to solve this problem is in a termination of Hanson LLC's PSC agreement with the city. And I think that if one of the councilors will make a motion, another council will second that motion, and a majority council will vote, you would have that severance, and that would solve a lot of your problems. I yield back my time.